Oh boy, strap yourself in for this thrill ride, if you dare. I saw Annabelle Creation in theaters, and I can honestly say it's one of the most frightening movies I've ever seen in a theater, and outside of one. In fact, I took my mother with me, who is not a fan of horror movies, and she was so freaked out the whole time. She kept saying, "Can we leave? Can we leave? Can we go now?" Yeah. For those unfamiliar, Annabelle is a terrifying ventriloquist type doll from the Conjuring universe of movies. Now, I do hate dolls anyway, but this doll in particular I loathe. She is just super fucking creepy. Now, I've seen the other Annabelle movies, so I know all about Miss Thang's various activities, and if you haven't seen those, I recommend watching at least one of them. Annabelle Creation, as the name would suggest, is about how this doll came to be in the first place. If you haven't seen the movie, there are spoilers ahead. Okay, so this movie starts out pleasantly enough. We are introduced to a small family, a father, a mother, and their daughter Annabelle, who they call B. Sadly, Annabelle is killed by a car within the first few minutes, and her father and mother are devastated, understandably. And the doll was hers because her dad makes dolls. Creepy, creepy, creepy dolls. Flash forward a few years, and we see that the house, where the father and mother live, is becoming an orphanage of sorts for orphans. And there are a bunch of girls on a bus, and they're headed to the farmhouse where Annabelle once lived. And we're introduced to one of the girls, two of the girls. It's early, guys. One of whom has suffered from polio and therefore can't walk. So essentially a bunch of creepy shit starts happening, and it turns out that Mom wanted Annabelle back so badly that she made a deal with a demon. And this demon then made it seem like Annabelle was back, but when the mom figured out what was really happening, the demon went batshit insane and blinded her in one eye and scratched up her face something good. Mom spends most of the movie in a bed with a creepy mask on, but if you pay attention, you'll recognize her from Lord of the Rings. She was Eowyn. If you haven't seen Lord of the Rings and you don't recognize her, what are you even doing? Go watch Lord of the Rings, you fool. Anyway, the demon then transferred to the doll, so the doll is locked in a closet in Annabelle's room until Polio Girl lets her out. I really loved how this movie ended. Basically, the demon ends up in Polio Girl, and she gets adopted. I think her name's Janice. She gets adopted. Then we see the beginning of Annabelle, the first movie in the series. So this is a prequel, essentially. Okay, so time for the review part. I freaking love this movie. It was so well done. It was shot well, everybody in it was good, and it was really, really scary, which is rare these days, actually. I don't see many movies that scare me that much. I was tense the entire time, but I absolutely loved it. And it also stays tense. It doesn't let up. And also, watch it a year after you saw it the first time, and it's still scary. That's how effective the scares are, honestly. Overall, it's a very, very solid addition to the Conjuring universe, unlike The Devil Made Me Do It, which was terrible. Oh, and there's a great part involving one of those chairs that takes people upstairs, those motorized chair things. Again, it's early, you guys. I'm not a morning person. Anyway, you'll never want to be around a doll ever again, unless you're like me and you already hated dolls. But after this movie, you'll definitely hate dolls. But this movie definitely gets 5 stars for me. It's one of the best horror movies that I've seen in a long time. Anyway, thanks for listening and watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future movie reviews. And yeah, thank you.